Welcome as always to Inside Drug Discovery. In this video, we will outline the role of basic research in drug discovery, list key scientific questions that might be addressed during the research phase, define the idea of a drug target, and analyze a mock biological pathway with some key scientific questions. Basic research is an essential part of drug discovery. One might argue that basic research is better classified as pre-discovery, but basic research is regardless critical for any drug campaign. Drug scientists strive to address unmet medical needs. One reason that medical needs are unmet is that the fundamental understanding of the disease has gaps. Those gaps are filled with basic research. The research is mostly biological and emphasizes the cellular pathways that drive the disease. By unraveling the pathways, scientists gain insight into the best approaches for designing a drug, often a small molecule, to affect the pathway and change the disease condition of a patient. Basic research strives to address key scientific questions. A central question is, what is the best point of intervention in the pathway to affect the disease? The point of intervention is called a target, a drug target. Drug targets are normally, but not always, receptors or enzymes involved in a biological pathway. In short, binding a drug to the target can shut down or activate the pathway with the goal of sufficiently changing a cellular or tissue response. Another question is whether the effect on the pathway will translate into a benefit for the patient. Early research may also answer which toxicity risks might be associated with binding a particular target in a pathway. Basic research can also help in the design of the primary assay, which is needed for preliminary testing of compounds for activity on the drug target. Of course, scientists will also thoroughly explore the literature, both research literature and patent filings, to gain any additional insight into what has already been reported on the disease. It is important to recognize that every disease is different. Identification of a target is ideal, but not always possible. Drug discovery can continue without a drug target, but some aspects of the process will be different. Let's look at a hypothetical pathway to demonstrate how basic research can be helpful. Here is our pathway. Let's assume that we are exploring a new discovery program for an anti-inflammatory compound. The pathway on the screen is what our biology researchers have unraveled. Our pathway includes 5 potential targets, 2 receptors, A and D, and 3 enzymes, B, C, and E. Let's walk through these targets. Receptor A is connected to 2 different responses, inflammation and blood pressure. Enzyme B is only tied to inflammation. The same is true for enzyme C. Receptor D and E are linked to inflammation, but unfortunately clotting as well. Of all these targets, only enzymes B and C are only associated with inflammation. These would be the best choices for our drug target. If we design compounds that bind to receptors A or D or enzyme E, we risk activating other responses, which may increase toxicity risks. Earlier parts of a pathway, on the left in our diagram, are said to be upstream, and the later parts are downstream. A more downstream target generally reduces safety risks, so we'd likely favor enzyme C with all other factors being equal. This approach is far from perfect. Performing research on a disease and associated pathways is different from completely understanding all pathways. For example, despite the most careful research, it is possible that enzyme C also affects other responses. What looks like a promising target might carry multiple safety risks. It is also possible that undiscovered pathways might impact inflammation. For example, receptor F might connect to inflammation. If so, we might develop a great compound for binding enzyme C, but our compound might have poor efficacy because receptor F may compensate for the lack of activity from enzyme C. Any shortcomings in the basic research might not be revealed until in vivo studies in preclinical species are performed. This risk is unavoidable. The scientists can only do their best. We have outlined the role of basic research, listed representative key scientific questions, defined the idea of a drug target, and analyzed a biological pathway through the lens of our key scientific questions. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please subscribe, like, or leave a comment. Take care.